My dad is revealing something quite saddening about my mom and why she cheated on him. My 23M parents, 50M and 45F, got a bitter divorce some 10 years ago. It was totally devastating and life-altering for me. I never had an explanation then. Their fights were just overwhelming at that point and I couldn't bother. Individually I love them both. Very much so. Lately my dad learned that mom is getting married and moving cities. Within the same state though. He was motivated to tell me about the reason why he hated her. Basically, he claims that she cheated on him and admitted to have never loved him. According to him, my mom told him she only married him for his looks so she can have kids with him. I vaguely brought the issue to my mom and was taken off guard that she didn't deny cheating. She said this was preemptive cheating because she would always find out about him contacting exes. All the time. Back to my dad. He said that she's lying since these exes were just his friends. And my mom only thought he slept with them in the past. He said she wanted to control him all the time and restrict his contacts with others. He actually teared up and said she ruined his social life and was extremely obsessive. I'm shocked to learn about this tbh. I love my mom but I'm gutted to know that she actually cheated on him. I treated her with respect but now I'm not sure if she deserves this respect anymore. I'm talking to her again soon. IDK what to say. Edit. Guys, with all due respect, I'm not asking you for judgment on whether telling me was a good idea or not. I have been asking for this information for years. I want to navigate the information carefully. So please stick to giving advice on that. Otherwise just keep scrolling. Finding out your parents are human and flawed AF is a tough part of becoming a full-fledged adult. Don't judge your parents based on their failed relationships. Judge them based on your relationship with them. My comment is gonna be a bit different from what I've seen so far. I recently learned that my dad cheated on my mom when I was a baby, which led to their divorce. My dad moved back to their home country and I only saw him for 2 to 3 weeks a year when I would go there for holidays. My parents never told me what happened, and they never badmouthed the other one in front of me or my brothers, which I appreciate. All my memories with my dad are positive ones and I am happy that I got to experience him as a good dad. When I was almost 14 years old, my dad died. Now, at that time, I didn't know about my parents' past and only learned about it when I was 22. I was very conflicted. How could my dad, who, in my eyes, was so kind and thoughtful, do that to my mom? How could I reconcile the idea I had of my dad with the person who hurt my mom so much? Eventually, after talking about it with some people, I came to the conclusion that while yes, what he did to my mom was vile, my relationship with him was not any less real, and he loved me very much. At the end of the day, it's not my place to forgive him or not. That's for my mom. I can only think about my relationship with him. I don't know how your relationship with your mom is, but I would think twice about cutting her off, like so many people here suggest in my opinion. You can accept what she did and still have a relationship with her. Again, this would depend on you. And seeing as she refers to it as preemptive cheating, I'm guessing she doesn't really think she did anything wrong? It's a difficult situation to navigate. Wish you the best. I'm a big believer in that when a parent cheats on their spouse, they cheat on their whole family. The upheaval for the kids is apparently considered collateral damage. It upended your life, and it most definitely is your business. No advice here, but I'm sorry you're going through this. Not sure if mom and dad's stories add up enough to make a decision on this. Dad said mom cheated. This was confirmed by both parties. Dad said mom only married him for his looks. This was not confirmed by mom or other sources. Mom said dad had been contacting exes behind her back. This was confirmed by both parties. Dad said these exes were just friends. This was not confirmed by mom or other sources. Funny how this is only coming out now, when mom is about to remarry. I'd take both sides with a grain of salt and focus on the present. In the end, it sounds like they are better off divorced. Your mom is a cheater. What you do with that information is up to you. I would lose a lot of respect for anyone immature enough to try and justify preemptive cheating. And it sounds like she doesn't regret anything. There's only one thought that you need to set on and keep bouncing around your head in this. Preemptive cheating. No such fucking thing. At the very least, your mother is apparently predisposed to speaking untruths in order to make herself look better or gain sympathy she should not have. Basically, she's entirely okay with spitting bullshit if it gets her out of trouble or makes her look better. To people she wants to like her. She tried to manipulate you. Now, it doesn't mean that you should believe your dad 100% and totally back everything he says about it. He's human, and he was involved in a very emotional situation where he came out on the short end. It's entirely possible he's not being totally truthful either. But, of the two of them, at least both of them back up the part that matters. She cheated on him. How you proceed, that's on you. Cut her off? You could. Nobody would blame you for it. Keep a relationship with her? Sure. You could do that, too. But what you absolutely, positively need to keep in mind in regards to this woman and yourself is this. This person is willing to lie to you if it suits their own interests. That fact that it's your mother doesn't matter. If it mattered, she wouldn't have tried to wrap you up in her bullshit. And she did try. Take anything she says with a grain of salt. Act on nothing. Verify everything. And do not allow her to put you in a situation where screwing you over would be a benefit to herself. Good luck. You know what? Kinda similar situation I've dealt with. My father, when I was 12F, told me that I was finally old enough to know, and that my older sisters, 15 and 17 at the time, already knew. The reason why they divorced was because my mom cheated on him with her friend D. He told me that he knew this because he spoke with D's wife L and she told him that she herself had an STD that D also had. My dad said he also had gotten that STD because he was being faithful, but he ended up with it because my mom cheated and gave it to him. It was a treatable, curable STD. And then just about a year or so ago, when I was like 21 or just newly 22, my grandmother, my mother's stepmother, her father's wife, told me about why our family vacations stopped. That it was my mother's fault because she ruined them by trying to bring strange men every time. And told me what happened during one of the last vacations we had before my grandfather, her husband, my mom's biological father, passed away. My mom had brought D to the cabin we were all staying at. And my dad was so heartbroken that she brought him. They all fought and had to kick him out. My grandmother and grandfather were pissed that she did it. So were my aunts. And this was all of my mother's family. Her sisters and her parents. I had no idea because I was so young and probably was sleeping or playing video games at the time. It was late at night. They separated when I was about 8. But finalized it in 2009 or 2010, I think. Neither of them actually even remembers because it's been so long since they've separated. But that was what really started my realization of my mother not being who she pretended to be to my siblings and I. She's manipulative, narcissistic, incredibly selfish, and arrogant. Currently, I'm low contact with my mother. Once I realized that she's a cheater, and is continuing to cheat on her current partner, though she doesn't view it was cheating. I've distanced myself greatly and realized many other things about her that I don't like. She will always be mom, and she does help me sometimes with certain things, but I like to visit my dad much more now. I love her, but I do not like her. My dad? He doesn't gossip or ridicule my romantic partner or talk behind my back about how crazy I am and I need to be on meds because I'm terrible off of them. My mom does. He doesn't reach out to my former friends. Former for a reason. That almost led me to unaliving myself. My mom does though. And yes, she knew that this person was the reason I almost ended my life. She's repeating the same patterns and doesn't listen even when her family tells her they're concerned and she needs to stop or reevaluate things. When I found out at 12 that my mom cheated, I didn't mention anything. I've now mentioned it in passing years after. To your mom. She's likely the same person. She hasn't changed. She's always known that she cheated and she has lived with that either way. Whether remorseful or no regrets. I would take it slow and not mention anything for a while. Until she mentions something where maybe she's repeating patterns again. Like my mom is. But if you bring it up, I'd just ask why she cheated. But ask it on a quiet day. Not too busy. She's not stressed or having a hard time lately. And no one is really around. And try to sound as least judgmental as possible to get the best, most truthful answer. Individually, I love them both. Very much so. You are 23 and no longer in the middle of any acrimony between your parents. People are telling you to cut off your mother for cheating 10 years ago. Not sure I agree. Take some time and think things over. Did the divorce impact your trust in others or faith in relationships? That's stuff to consider in therapy. But if your mother was a good mom to you, that counts for something. While I don't condone cheating, things are rarely as black and white as people say. Both parents are going to have their versions, and both those versions will feel real to them. The more important thing is, what was your experience? Sweetheart, your parents both have issues. And it's obvious that their marriage was a shit show. Neither one of them are an innocent victim of circumstance. Including, and likely especially, your father. You are never going to get the 100% absolutely factually correct story from either one of them. Because, right or wrong, people have completely different interpretations of situations. The differences between the stories that my parents tell about the end of their marriage are laughable. They seem to have lived in alternate universes. Either my frigid mother threw him out of the house without warning and made him homeless, forcing him to beg his friends for shelter. Or my cheating prick of a father spent 2 whole hours in the driveway of his best friend's house, in his $150,000 car, because he was too embarrassed to ring the doorbell at 6 a.m. Which story do you think is true? My mom is frigid and a complete narcissist, and my dad did cheat on her. Whatever happened, I recognize that they are both deeply flawed people who made choices for various reasons that even they can't explain. And in the end, why does it matter? I love them for who, or despite who, they are. Also, and this is critical, it's really none of your goddamn business why they got divorced. Why are you so fixated on this? I'm asking sincerely. Some seriously terrible advice so far. You asked your dad for the truth. He told you. And your mom not only admitted to cheating but also tried to justify it as preemptive cheating, while trying to control and isolate your dad from his friends. The people telling you that you shouldn't have asked or saying your dad is the bad guy are sexist cheater apologists. Especially the one person asking, was your mom a good mom, like TF? Oh okay, that makes being abusive and cheating okay. Flip the genders and you would get blown up calling the guy abusive, controlling, etc. If I was in your shoes, I'd be glad she's moving away and cut her from your life. Anyone who can so casually still justify preemptive cheating on their spouse like they did nothing wrong is not an influence I would want in my life. Nor my kids' lives. F that. How your parents behaved in their relationship does not negate the love they have for you. Relationships are hard. So is parenting. No one is perfect, and we are all flawed in our own ways. At the end of the day, your parents were not happy together. Hopefully they are happy apart. It sounds like they both love you. You can take this info about your mom and use it to help you realize she's not perfect. She's human with real flaws and emotions, and sometimes makes bad decisions. It doesn't change how she treats you. And as long as she's not abusive to you, your siblings, if any, then that is what matters. You can sit and talk with her about why she cheated, what she would do different, and what advice she has for you. Use this as a learning experience about her, relationships, and you. So hopefully you do not make the same mistakes. Use this for learning, not for judging. You may want to discuss her being real and honest about what she did. But she does not really owe you an apology or an explanation. Give both of your parents a hug. You deserve that, and so do they. Good luck. So he emotionally cheated Nad, then she physically cheated. Great couple. None of them are blameless. If he invested emotionally in her. If she tried focusing more in the kids' happiness. If people do shit, overcoming it, forgiving it, doing what you can do to move on, and not letting their wrongdoings dictate the rest of your life. But learn with their good parts. Is what growing up is. I have been in your shoes as a child and in your parents' position as a betrayed spouse, and my feeling is that your mom or dad as your parents has nothing to do with anything they did to each other in their marriage. A great mother or a great father can be a terrible spouse. Your parents are wrong to try to play out their marital battles with you as an audience. Set some good boundaries in what they talk to you about, and love them both. Leave their marriage battles for them to deal with. You asked for the truth and got it. Your mother didn't deny it at all. Personally, that would creep me out, knowing my mother could be so heartless. The people saying what happened between your parents isn't your concern are idiots. What your parents go through will eventually affect their children. For you, it's especially important since your mother's reply might indicate that she didn't change much. Your relationship with your mom is your relationship with your mom. Her relationship with her ex-husband and the reasons they divorced are between them and more than a decade old now. Dad obviously felt like you were grown up enough to know the truth. You have discovered what most kids have to discover at some point in our lives: our parents are human and, quite often, assholes. How about you wait for your mom to do something to you in the present day rather than punish her for something she did to someone else many years ago? In other words, now you know the story. It's just that, a story, and someone else's at that. Honestly, it sounds like your parents both wronged each other and are just giving you their own biased version of events. Listen. Yes, they are your mom and dad. But they're still people. You shouldn't allow them to badmouth each other to you. That's not fair. As far as their reason for breakup, you have never had to walk in either of their shoes. Save your judgment for when you've lived as long as them and never did anything wrong. Please try to talk to your mother again and ask for her perspective and feelings. I am a mother and I cheated on my kid's dad. But that was after years of feeling lonely and rejected by him. He appeared to be a kind and loving man to others, but was really quite cold and emotionally abusive behind closed doors. The fact your father said those things about your mother is a really big red flag for me. Those things were hurtful to you because they made her sound shallow and nasty, and you are half of your mom, so does that make you shallow and nasty too? Your mother didn't say negative things about your dad. I think you need more information. Not everything is black and white. Parents are only human. Just because she is a bad wife, it doesn't make her a bad mother. Kind of stay of it. By all means, don't respect her actions, but you don't have to cut her. Honestly, they both sound like they were too immature to be married. And the marriage was toxic. Cheating is just one nasty behavior that ruins a marriage. My only advice would be to not take one thing and judge only that. Take the picture as a whole. Your mom cheated, but your dad was in contact with a lot of other women he may have been intimate with. He's not denying that, either. No, it's not the same as actually cheating. But it's not very respectful to a marriage, either. There are always three sides to a story. Here, it's his side, her side, and in the middle, the truth. I doubt your mother was all devil and your father was all saint. It almost never happens that way. Maybe you can just take away that your parents are humans. Made mistakes. Did the best thing for you and didn't stay together to raise you in that toxic hell. And both love you. Ultimately, that's all that matters now. Right? What happened between them really has nothing to do with you.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.